Hi, everybody. This is Eating for Meaning. I'm your host, Millie Lytle, or Dr. Millie. I'm a naturopath and I'm a certified nutritionist. And we are exploring all the sun signs and how to eat for each different sun sign, whether it's your sun sign. Also, do check out your ascending or your rising sign as well as your moon sign, because that can also affect your health and how your body functions in relationship to food. As we're ascending, as we're becoming more spiritually aware, it's also very important to be in touch with our body, and our body are our temple. Your body is your temple, and so it's very important to not be perfect, but to be aware of what you're putting in your mouth. If we look at the food that's on the shelves of the grocery store, then if we think of it from a sinister perspective, which I can't help but do so because I do see the food that we're forced to eat if we select mainstream food as a form of population control. Because the food that we're eating is making us sick. It's giving us diabetes. It's giving us allergies. It's giving us high blood pressure. It's giving us food cravings. It's not by accident that so many Americans, so many North Americans, and even Western Europeans, Northern and Western Europeans, and now extending into Africa and the countries of the world that accept aid food, it's no wonder that we're suffering more and more from the Western chronic illness, which are related to obesity, related to cholesterol and blood sugar more than cholesterol, to be honest, stress, migraine headaches, pressure, tension, depression, anxiety, cravings. And so the food that we're eating, if you think about it, is the biochemistry that you're putting into your body every day, 3 to 6 times a day. Or if you're not eating good food, then it's the biochemistry that you're not putting into your body those opportunities during the day. And this is affecting your health every single moment you're alive. And it's creating at the root level, at the root cause, how resistant you are to cold and flus, how much energy you have, how well you feel during the day, what your mood fluctuations are like, what your cravings are like, whether or not you have to self-medicate with coffee, alcohol, take prescription medications or over-the-counter medications, whether you're in the medical system, how much you have to be included as part of the medical system, which is the sick care system that so much of us are facing. If you pay attention to your food, then you remove yourself from that common denominator for which so many people are being systemically controlled by the food that we're given, the food that's available to us by convenience, by first glance, because all the food in the grocery store shelves contains, if not hidden, but if you read the ingredients, you know it's there, but soy, corn, genetically modified foods, sugar beet or genetically modified canola oil, and genetically modified foods are altering genes, okay? Because the genes of the food itself is altered, and it can also alter our own genes, not to mention our cells on a more short-term level. It's a very concentrated amount of pesticides that you're getting. And what do pesticides do? They kill insects. And so if these are strong enough to kill insects, then imagine what they're doing to the cells of your body, not to mention pesticide levels are not controlled. They spray whenever they want. They put fungicides on seeds as much as they like. There's really very little FDA regulation, and there's very little understanding of how much chemical exposure we're getting. Chemicals are war, okay? It is warfare. It is a form of population control. I believe this very strongly. In order to become enlightened, in order to become in touch and in control of our own health and in our own evolution, then we really do need to take ourselves off the grid in a lot of the perspective, take ourselves off of prepackaged foods. And that's all the convenience foods that you might be used to eating. Now, am I saying that you can't eat any foods that you like ever again? I'm not saying that. However, I am saying that we need to develop a new palate, and this happens gradually. It is possible. We just have to expose ourselves to better quality food so that once you do that, once you start exposing yourself to better quality of food, increase your fruits and vegetable consumption, then you're no longer as vulnerable to illnesses, as well as to cravings, as well as to the control that this cheap, manufactured, overly processed, undernutritious, caloric food gives us. Okay, I am available for consultations. I am going to offer a very special price. My consultation fees as a naturopathic doctor are pretty high. They're $550 for the initial. They're $400 for follow-ups. I do have some packages, but I am going to offer a very special rate to my YouTube followers. This is a new channel for me. I really want to get myself in front of you, and I really want to help you as much as possible. I'm absolutely committed to helping people ascend from a nutritional perspective, as well as, mind, body, soul. This is all related to our health. And so I do mind, body, soul readings. Those are oracle card readings. I do them weekly here on YouTube. I just started, but this is something I'm going to continue. I can do a mind, body, oracle reading for you alone for the price of $50. And that's about a 20-minute reading. And we pick cards associated with what your question is. And that's in whatever way you're thinking about your relationships or your life or your health or your job, because it's all holistic. Okay. And I'm trying to help people improve their health in all of these ways, as we're all trying to, on a mission to ascend and trying to be the best possible versions of ourselves. The world, there's been no better time to do this work for yourself, because the world needs good energy, positive energy. It needs us uniting. It needs us sending positive energy to the powers that be, to the negative forces, to the dark side. We all need to unite. We're here for a reason. We're here for a mission. And this is part of my mission, is to help you accomplish that. So mind, body, soul oracle readings are $50, and you can go onto my website at milliesays.com and book that. And this is only for my YouTube subscribers, okay? And you can also go on to my eatingformeaning.com page and book these. I am also doing horoscope readings, so medical astrology readings for you as an individual. We'll look at your sun, your moon, and your ascending, and we'll go over your main concerns, and I'll help you work out which foods you should be eating. This, again, is a very special deal. This is going to be $50, and you can book that right away. And I'm not sure how long these are going to last, but definitely I'm going to offer these for a little while as I build my channel. If you know anybody who's interested in taking advantage of one of these readings, please do have them come onto my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share. I really appreciate it, guys. I really want to reach as many people as possible. I think that this movement is really growing. We need to be physically fit. It's not enough just to be spiritually fit. And I do not mean, you need to go to the gym. I'm not saying don't do that, but that's not really where we get fitness and health. We get fitness and health from tuning into ourselves and learning how all the inner workings of our mind and our soul and our spirit, as well as our physical, are affecting our physical being. We need to be strong physically. We need to be, warriors and activists. We need to have energy. We need to have a clear mind. We need to have a clear channeled heart. We need to know what our mission is and to know our purpose. And in order to be doing this, we need to be as healthy as possible. So I'm here to help you accomplish your vision and help you accomplish your nutrition goals and your health goals, so that you can be the best activist, the best mission agent that you possibly can be. So if you think you're a twin flame, or if you're a twin flame, or if you're a Blu-ray, or if you're a star seed, or if you're a mission pioneer, or if you're a soul star, wherever you feel like you are, if you know which galactic family you've come from, intergalactic family you've come from, then I'm definitely here to help you. And if you are confused as to what is happening to you, if you're confused or scared by what you're seeing or what you're feeling, or how people are responding to you in terms of your spiritual gifts, please do not be dismayed. This is part of your awakening. This is part of your gift. This is part of your soul's purpose. We are all going through this. You are not alone. And so if you feel alone, then please do reach out to me and connect, because it's really important that we unite and that we are aware of what's going on. I don't know what's going on with the light in this video. I don't know why it's changing so much, but I'm just going to take that as a lot of energy is coming through right now. And so stay tuned for your, thanks so much again for liking, subscribing. If you'd like to take advantage of one of my special offer readings, either for a mind, body, soul oracle reading, or which I'm also doing for Integral Fitness, their conscious dinner, their conscious family dinners coming up in December in New York. So I am offering them, I'm going to be offering them for free for that dinner, for the price of admission of the dinner. I'm not sure if they're still taking bookings or not for that, but so it is something that I'm going to be doing publicly as well. I do this within my practice, but I'm just offering these by themselves for $50. Or if you'd like the astrology portion, if you'd like to know what to eat for your sun sign, rising, and moon sign, then before we book that appointment or before we have that appointment, I'll have to know that information about you. And I'll have to know what your chief complaint is in terms of your nutrition. And then I'll give you also a 20-minute session, nutrition session. Okay, so again, thank you so much. I love you all. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your comments. It really means a lot to me. And I'm going to try to respond to everybody's, but stay tuned for your sun sign as it relates to your nutrition. This is Medical Astrology on Eating for Meaning. Thank you. Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your Medical Astrology. Medical astrology really offers a detailed assessment of how your natal chart affects your health. And this is an ancient way to utilize the celestial patterns and their cyclical nature, as well as the ebb and flow of the seasons and the houses going through different planets and signs to determine, before there was any other empirical tools to measure by, this was the way that it was used in the past in order to predict if ailments were going to get worse or if they were going to get better, and who had a tendency to experience, which ailment. So we could also learn about the intensity that the disease would take on, and whether there were any recovery methods and which ones they should be, depending on the person's sun sign, moon sign, especially, although potentially rising sign as well, depends on what you relate to. But the most useful feature of medical astrology is suggesting astrological methods and therapies by which one can get rid of an illness. And so I'm going to talk about the foods today because I feel like this unique method makes medical astrology a very helpful tool, as well as it relates to naturopathic medicine. So I'm not an astrologer per se, I follow astrology, but I am a naturopathic doctor and a nutritionist, and we use similar early detection strategies to look to see how the body's functioning, what the person is susceptible to, and how fast you get over it, what you respond to. Okay, so we look at patterns in the body and how those organ systems relate to determine which organs are strong, which organs are weak, and then how that will affect the individual's health moving forward. So we can, in that way, prevent chronic illness. We can even prevent chronic illness from developing, even cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, depression, fast aging. We can anti-age the body. So having a moon in Cancer can offer good health. It can be a good place to have your moon, but people with their moon in Cancer will generally have signs of an upset stomach. They'll have a lot of digestive issues, and that can be indigestion or it can be stress. So, and if there's too much stress, then you can start developing sensitivities to certain foods, or whereas before you might have been fine. If there's all of a sudden a horrific event or a traumatic event, or even a prolonged period of stress, then all of a sudden you can end up with heartburn, irritable bowel-like symptoms. It can kind of range as to where in the digestive system affects the cancer. It affects the cancer individual. It affects you in different aspects of the digestive system. The moon can also okay, so if there's heartburn, for instance, so it is important for a Cancer to learn how to cope with their stress so that it's not all going inward. If it's all going inward, if you're suppressing your emotions, if you're not acknowledging or expressing them the way you feel, if you have a lot of fear or anxiety or sadness or emotions that you have not expressed, then it's important to train yourself on how to release these in a healthy way, whether that's exercise or yoga or deep breathing or therapy, counseling, talking to somebody, helping other people, focusing on service can be a good way for a Cancer because they're very sensitive, because that will prevent all of the negative emotions from just being embedded inward and just living in that dwelling kind of feeling. So if it dwells, then it festers, and then that can cause a lot of chronic problems for Cancer. So managing stress is really important. If there are any food intolerances, then it's really important to avoid them, because if there's heartburn and if you start taking antacid medications, and this just makes the acid problem suppressed, it doesn't actually address the key issue. We need our digestive enzymes. We need these enzymes. We don't want to suppress these enzymes. Our stomach does not have any teeth. That the enzymes serve a purpose. They serve a purpose to break down the proteins in the stomach, and they serve a purpose to break down the carbohydrates and the fats in the small intestine so that we can absorb the nutrients and so that we can reject what we don't want and keep what we do want and then eliminate the rest. And that's the way we assimilate food as well. And so digestion, digestion actually starts in the nose with smell, but it's really important after we've swallowed food, what happens to the food. You can even chew your food well, because you do have teeth in your head, hopefully, and chew your food well and make sure that it's a liquid when you swallow it. That can take the burden off your digestion. Avoiding any overly acidic foods, avoiding any foods with caffeine, foods that cause lower esophageal to cause the sphincter to be relaxed or lax. So relaxation of the lower esophageal sphincter are foods with caffeine, foods with mint, foods that have a strong smell, tea, coffee, chocolate, even peppermint tea, which can soothe the stomach, can also cause irritation, or it can go from being soothing to causing irritation. So, and then we want to eat a lot of well-cooked foods. Excuse me. Salads might be something that you interpret as healthy. However, they're harder to digest than cooked vegetables. So cooked greens, cooked spinach, cooked kale, cooked cabbage is a lot easier to digest for most people. Now, cabbage can be gassy for some people, especially in the intestine. But overall, cooked foods, cooked root vegetables, especially if they're boiled, sauteed, steamed, blanched, are easier to digest than anything that's raw. And that gets even more important when we're looking at the intestines, but also important for the stomach. If you have a hard time digesting proteins, it kind of sits in your stomach like a lump, then you might need to take some apple cider vinegar, take some digestive enzymes, or only have smaller portions of meat. Have a salad with it, a raw salad actually, because then that afterwards, because that has enzymes itself that helps to break down the meat. Be careful about mixing bread and meat together, or bread and cheese together, because that can be difficult to digest. Um, Cancers can also get heart palpitations, so they can get flutters, they can get arrhythmias, they can get a fast heartbeat, they can get anxiety or panic attacks, feeling like they're going to die. And so it's really important to engage, of course, in stress reduction practices for this purpose as well. Deep breathing, avoiding caffeine, avoiding stimulants. Cancers are very sensitive, as you know, Cancer, and even the masculine cancers are sensitive. And so it's important to treat the body like a temple so that you're not overstimulating your nervous system and giving your heart an excessive workout. We can calm our heartbeat by taking magnesium, by taking fish oils, omega-3s, by having garlic regularly in our diet, and the dark berries like pomegranate and blueberries and blackberries, and in supplement form grapeseed extract, OPC3. I'll put a link to any supplements that I talk about. I'll put a link to it in the description so that you can have a look to see, and I'll put a discount code if you're interested in purchasing any of the products. So, cancers can also suffer from gallbladder issues, which is the inability to digest fats. And so, if that's the problem, then you do want to do flushes with olive oil olive oil and lemon juice, half and half of each, so half a cup of each, fresh lemon juice and olive oil. As long as your gallstones, you don't have big gallstones, because if you have big gallstones, then you that can they can get lodged in your bile duct, and that can be a medical emergency. So if you do want to do a flush, make sure that you don't have any big stones. And you'd know that if you get a lot of pain after eating, if you get pain in your abdomen, or if you get pain over your right shoulder or between your shoulder blades, and that can be a gallstone, a gallbladder pain. Or if you get pain after you eat fatty foods, especially, it gets worse after fatty foods, anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours after eating. And no changing position relieves that gallbladder pain. So gallstones are made up of cholesterol. So it means your liver is not producing enough bile in order to break down the soapy detergent cholesterol stones that can form. So you really do want to encourage your liver to produce bile by eating bitter foods. So that's by eating apple cider vinegar and water, by doing liver flushes regularly, by doing the lemon juice and the olive oil, by eating green apples because they have malic acid in them, and those tend to soften gallstones or even just sediment that's in the gallbladder. And then there's also supplements with enzymes that have especially ox bile in them that help to break down gallstones. Lipotrophic factors, methionine, lecithin, this can also help to uh, break down gallstones, and gugalipids, which is an herb, so that helps, an Ayurvedic herb that helps to break down gallstones. So there's a lot you can do if your gallbladder is not working properly. Hernias are also common in cancer, so that would be an outpouching of tissue. So that can cause a protrusion, or it can cause a pain when you eat, or a pain when you move. Um, by breathing properly, that can even reverse a hernia. By breathing from your abdomen, that's the best way to reverse a hernia. By eating bone broth, taking collagen, taking ample vitamin C from fresh lemon juice, for instance, help to make collagen, to help to reform the connective tissue, making sure there's enough protein in your diet. It doesn't need to be meat protein, it can be vegetarian protein, can help to form the connective tissue so that maybe your hernia can go back in place. But deep breathing and posture exercises is the best thing for hernias. No, never ignore heartburn if you are a cancer, because this can turn into an ulcer. And so the combination of food sensitivities as well as emotional distress in cancer puts people at prone for ulcers. And so if you stop eating when you're upset, then you'll do better. Okay. So um, if you're sensitive to hot and spicy and acidic foods, you should definitely eliminate them, as well as the stimulant foods, and also aspirin and ibuprofen, any kind of pain medication that can irritate the lining, as well as antacids, which do the opposite and suppress. It's really good to take digestive enzymes or apple cider vinegar if you're having heartburn, or even betaine hydrochloric acid, HCl, that can help to stimulate stomach enzymes. Because sometimes, especially in older people, it's the lack of enzymes that are causing heartburn. So you might want to get a private reading if that's something that you want to explore more, because there's different problems associated with that. There's different places that it's hard to discuss in a general term what's causing your heartburn. Um, moon cancers also have weak breasts and a high chance of suffering from lumps and cysts. So you can do castor oil packs. Make sure that you're having an anti-inflammatory diet, and I would not recommend the birth control pill or any kind of hormone replacement therapy. You want to use Vitex, a chasteberry, flax seeds, a lot of broccoli family foods, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, Brussels sprout seeds, and or Brussels seed sprouts, broccoli seed sprouts that have I3C, indole 3-carbinol, and DIM in them. And this helps to reduce overall estrogen levels, as well as the dark berries. You can also rub castor oil on your breasts and help to reduce inflammation if there are cysts. Vitamin K2, which is you eat the leafy greens, and then that converts in your digestive tract into vitamin K2, or you can get vitamin K2 from natto, or from some raw fermented cheeses. This is important for helping to absorb calcium so that you don't have any calcifications in the breast. So if your sun is in Cancer, you're more prone to being affected by wherever the sun is placed in your house. So when the sun is in the fourth house in Cancer, natives experience issues with stomach, digestive, breasts, and glands. And so that can be your thyroid gland, or that can be your adrenal glands. So some of your endocrine glands, your endocrine system, and those are, of course, are the organs that are most affected by stress. Lots of sleep. So it's really important to get enough sleep. People with their sun in Cancer also generally suffer from blood disorders related to like excessive bleeding during menstruation. That can be fibroids. So again, it's important to have a lot of flax seeds and the Vitex and a lot of broccoli family vegetables, cabbage family vegetables. That could be kimchi and sauerkraut that's properly fermented. It has to be organic in the fridge section of the grocery store. Kombucha, so green tea, has a good effect on estrogen levels. Um, Also want to make sure your immune system's strong because you could be cancers could be prone to getting leukemia or stomach cancer. And so with leukemia, you really want to be taking a lot of dark berries and a lot of leafy greens, as well as maintaining alkalinity. So having an alkaline diet for stomach cancer, really important to have an alkaline diet, not too much fish. Fish that's high in mercury, that has a relationship to stomach cancer. Watch the stress levels. Um, Eat foods that are healing for the lining of the stomach. So those are cooked foods, soupy foods, and foods that certain herbs like licorice, slippery elm that are mucilage. So mucilage, foods with prebiotic, bananas, berries, kiwis, yams, chicory root, a lot of root vegetables, parsnips, turnips, carrots, beets. Those foods have inulin or pre-digestible, fermentable starch in there that help to feed the good bacteria. Really important for the digestive tract. Cancers, sounding cancer can also experience disorders caused by hormones. So it could be uh, thyroid hormones, or it could be sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone in men or in women. Could be PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome for women. So you want to be careful about sugar intake. And also, cancers are more prone to cataracts than people. So you want to, stay out of the sun, wear sunglasses, take your antioxidants, your pycnogenol, your grapeseed extract, your bilberry, have your dark blueberries, all the orange colored foods, um, squashes, carrots, beets, all your red, orange, yellow, grapefruits. And those foods are also great for the skin because the skin can really be affected, can affect the cancer individual. Cancers can be really sensitive to having hives, so histamine reactions, allergies on the skin. They can be allergic to most any food, and that can happen as the digestive tract wears down, or as they develop something called leaky gut syndrome, or develop IBS, which is the connection between the gut and the brain can really be upset in the cancer individual. And so every time you get stressed, you're having a bowel movement or you're having diarrhea for days, and then you get constipation. It's a vicious cycle. Enteric coated peppermint oil can actually help with that. It's enteric coated so that it doesn't affect the stomach, doesn't affect the esophageal sphincter, but goes right down into the intestine. And having probiotics and avoiding any food sensitivities and having a good method for coping can really help that. So other foods good for the skin are cooling foods like watermelon, especially if it's rashes or rosacea. Watermelon, cucumber, celery, grapefruit, lemons. These are all cooling foods, foods with a lot of antioxidants in them. So all your fresh vegetables and fruits, really good for the cancer. Okay, thanks so much, Cancer.